Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Morning, sunshine. TGIM. It's Monday. Isn't that, you know what? I think I got to start saying that. We got to get into the Monday spirit too. You know, we're starting off a new week. We're lucky enough to anyway. So TGIM indeed. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend? What did you get up to? Let me take a look and see who's in here. Good morning, Houston Rose. RL is here. Good morning from Chi-Town. Jessica, Tadisha, Venetia, Foxy's here. Hey, Foxy. East Awesome, Maureen, Theo, Kay is here as well. Hey, everybody. Okay, so you know what? Great question, Theo and Kay. So did you guys watch The Real Housewives of Potomac last night? How insane was it? I watched it, and we've got an awful lot to talk about when it comes to RHOP. I am still stunned at like Stacey's whole entire persona crashing and burning throughout this entire reunion special. Like, I really liked her heading into the reunion, but with everything that I learned about her now, like, I find her to be at least kind of like scary. The way that she's able to just casually lie to people's faces and about people behind their backs is just too much. I can't. Marina, I'm so sorry that you're feeling sick with norovirus. Oh, get well soon. And it's like you said, at least you've got us to help keep you company and get your mind off of your illness. Get well soon indeed. I did see Jennifer talking about being from Pompano Beach, Florida. So Jennifer, when you said Pompano Beach, I read it as Pepino because I've got Hilario Baldwin on my mind. I didn't get to watch episode 2 of their show, so we won't be recapping that until tomorrow, but we've got plenty of other TV stuff to discuss, including RHOP. Amber Portwood calling her own daughter a liar, comparing her trauma to her daughter's, saying that her daughter hasn't even been through any real trauma. Like, it was so ugly, and I've got the entire video here for you guys as well. Shout out to LB for screen recording that video. Guys, you know what I did this weekend? I went out Saturday for the first time in I couldn't even tell you, I think since New Year's. Like, I really don't go out to drop it like it's hot like that outside of my salsa classes at the gym. And so my friends and I, they decided they wanted to go bar hopping. I said, sure, why not? So we went to the 6th arrondissement. We started at El Cartel, and it was too small to really be dancing, and they really had to be dancing. So I said, okay, let's go to the next one. They chose Frog. It was good, but the music was too much in the 2000s, like very far back. We wanted some current hits as well. And then we got to a place that I recommend to all of you guys as well. I recommend you guys, if you ever get to come here and you're looking for a nice kind of sexy lounge where after you eat, or you can go and grab drinks and then dance. And they've got a lot of Latin music, they've got reggaeton, they've got salsa, bachata, a little bit of everything like that. They wore the hell out of the new Bad Bunny album. It's called Tiger. So again, we were in the 6th arrondissement, Rue Princesse. So good. We had a great time until I stayed until 1 a.m, and my friend stayed until 2:30. It was a really good time. So again, you guys, so happy to see all of y'all filing in here. And thank you so much, Jennifer, for the morning report. We've got an awful lot to discuss in today's episode. I do think that we will most likely go over an hour. We are going to be talking about Drake being dragged at the Oscars. We're going to do a recap of RHOP. Kourtney Kardashian is speaking out against rumors about her son, Mason. Amber Portwood dragging her own daughter on TikTok. Cheyenne Floyd wants to get her tattoos removed. Well, some of them anyway. And then there's a lot of Love is Blind scoop to break down as well. Gypsy Rose's ex is still trying to stay in her life despite the paternity test declaring that he is not the father. William and Kate are being called out for copying Harry and Meghan's Instagram strategy. Blake Lively suffered a couple of setbacks in her legal war against Justin Baldoni, and plenty more, you guys. So if you are enjoying the morning report at any point, do not hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content and you want to see more videos like it, okay? So like I said, we've got an awful lot of stories to get through. So why don't we start off at the top with the Real Housewives of Potomac. It was part 3 of the reunion, so it's finally done, which means that today's not the day I'll be going live with Kempire and Layla. It's going to be next Monday, okay, once our HOA debuts. So, of course, Karen was still not there, but she made her presence known. Did she ever? She got to do a little bit of a PSA that was a little bit of a joke. So basically, we find out that Stacey is probably one of the biggest liars, second only to Mia on that show. TJ exposed her that she had paid him to pretend to be her boyfriend on the show. And then apparently she still owes him money. And she tried to deny it. All the girls pounced on her. And listen, I get them pouncing, but there was someone who pounced a little too hard. And that was none other than Giselle Bryant. One thing about Giselle is that she's only ever really had one real relationship on the show. It was the relationship that she had with Sherman. And everything else was just for the camera, right? Including the way that she pretended to get back with Pastor Holy Whore and involve her kids in that storyline. So when she started mocking Stacey for having a fake boyfriend, I was like, girl, stop. You are the pro of this. She learned from the best, please. Okay. Shout out to Kempire, by the way, for breaking that scoop. He called it months ago at one of his Kempire After Dark shows. And so in the preview for the part 3, we had seen Ashley saying that someone told her that there was a man in the car with Karen. And a lot of people came out saying, this is really nasty. Don't kick her while she's down. Don't start spreading rumors. And even Charisse, Karen's enemy, her arch nemesis, said that. But now in part 3, what did we get? They released some body cam footage, some more of it anyway, from that fateful night. And what do you know? There was Karen, her wig sliding halfway off her head, saying out of her own mouth that there was someone else in the car with her and that other person was the person who was driving. And she was so drunk, she fell asleep standing up after saying that. So, was she playing it up? Right, to have an alibi? I don't know, but that is something that Karen said herself. And Ashley's source was a journalist who was covering the story who said the same thing to her as well. And so I want to know if you guys believe that version of events. And if it's true, do you think that it was Blue Eyes who was the person that was driving? Because in which case, I think that that's crazy, right? Because Blue Eyes was supposed to be a personal driver to protect Karen. So why would your personal driver be getting just as wasted as you are, right? If they're supposed to be your DD, it just does not make any sense. So let me know what you guys think about this so far from our HOP in the chat if you're watching live, or if you're part of my playback posse, let me know in the comment section of the video. That was indeed a mic check, 1 2 1 2. I did see Stephanie say that she would not be paying TJ a damn dime. And honestly, I wouldn't either, because TJ was so mean to Stacey throughout the filming. It was weird. It was so awkward to watch, right? So I don't think that he earned his money after all, with his nastiness towards his woman. Okay. Theo says RHOP's reunion was so funny. I didn't even notice Mia was gone after a while. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't be surprised if she's not asked back next season. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised either. She does not get along with anybody. And she threw away her relationship with the 2 girls that she had, right? So it really is over for her. And, in my opinion, and it looks like in your opinion as well, and a lot of other people. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning, AJ. Thank you so much. And everybody else joining us as well. Foxy says that Stacey be lying, Mia light, right? And it's crazy. Like the only difference between her and Mia is just the polishing and like the way she carries herself. You know what I mean? And I'm so disappointed because I loved Stacey. I thought she was going to be my new fave, but after all the things that were exposed about her throughout this entire reunion, all three parts, I can't back her. I'm really, really, really disappointed. According to Didisha, she popped up on WWHL last night and she was still denying it. Stacey, hang it up, girl. Hang it up. We don't believe you. You need more people. And it's not, here's the thing. If it was just this one thing, maybe I'd go, okay, TJ, he's petty. He's just mad that he got fired, right? Or that she broke up with him. But she got caught lying on Vivian. She got caught trying to be shady behind Wendy's back and to steal her husband's business, and become a competitor and stuff. Like, she's just not an honest person. And so I just, I think that the pattern shows that she is not to be trusted, in which case, you know what, whatever, right? Like, I do believe TJ over Stacey. So far, he hasn't shown himself to be a liar. So, how Karen says that there was somebody else in the car with her? We also got to see a contrived scene that she shot with her new face and her husband to talk about some of the key points of all of the controversy surrounding her catching her fourth DUI, right? So she's just so elegantly dressed and coiffed in her bed, and her husband is feeding her the lines and stuff that they rehearsed a million times over. It was so funny, and I'm happy that the girls clocked it, because absolutely not, right? So what were their main talking points? About Blue Eyes, who he was to her, like, why she was always surrounded by this man, her driver, right, with the blue eyes. And then now we're blaming the construction site for the crash. Karen, she was very clearly wasted, out of her mind. She was falling asleep talking to these people, slurring her words. She said it herself that she was lit, right? And so now we're blaming the construction site. Now they're saying the Black Bill Gates. What is he saying now? Well, you know what? It's not so bad that you had your fourth DUI and crashed. There are 6 million crashes every year in America. Like, what? That is crazy. There 6 million crashes does not mean 6 million DUI crashes, or that it's okay to drink, to pop a bunch of pills, in a way that was not prescribed to you, especially mixing them with alcohol, and drive. Like, that was such an irresponsible thing to say on television. And this is why Karen is behind bars now for the next year or so, right? Because she refuses to take accountability. She keeps on trying to minimize what she did. She keeps on trying to deflect. And we are all sick and tired of it. She needs to own up to what it is that she has done, because it is not okay, especially with this being the fourth time that she has done it. You know what? It's sad considering her age, but it is very, very well deserved. She has been playing in people's faces for too damn long. There is no reason on this planet, there's no excuse for having 4 DUIs, right? Allie says next Karen's going to blame the tires or her wheels, right? Everything, anything she can blame except for herself. And so Karen, you know what? I speaking of Karen, do y'all think she watched the show like in prison? Because remember, the place that she's in is actually kind of like not low key, but laid back. She's not doing crazy hard time. It's not maximum security or anything like intense like that. They are more so focused on treating, the illnesses or the addictions that people have. So, and they did say that they are always rolling TV, one in English, one in Spanish. So, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if she got to watch that part 3 of the reunion special. Karen. And don't forget, you guys, we will be writing to her in prison. So get ready for that. I'm going to do a live so that we can work on that letter together. Okay, you guys, I don't know when yet, probably like next week, but we will be writing to her as a collective here at the Grace Report. Now, next up, why don't we get into the Drake of it all? So rapper Drake, he is still getting dragged. And I want to know what y'all thought about this joke that was said about him at last night's Oscars. Okay, so take a look and then let me know what you thought about it.
Well, we're halfway through the show, which means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile. Don't worry, I'm lawyered up.
So I first saw that joke on Instagram this morning when I woke up, and I said, I don't know. I feel like, okay, it could be a really funny line, but if it were delivered in a certain way, and I do typically enjoy Conan O'Brien. However, I don't think he did his best in teeing up this joke. I do like at the end where he says, like, I'm lawyered up, don't worry. That to me was funnier than the actual joke itself, and I find that to be a problem. So I want to know how you guys feel, right? Because when I looked into the comment section, most people were saying that, like, it's old, we're over it, like, too much, like, get off of him, like, stop beating the dead horse. And I want to know what you guys have to say about that. Is it too much? Are we done with the Drake jokes? Because to me personally, I got to be honest with you guys, I thought that the Super Bowl was the perfect way to end things, tie the bow, and then, like, passer aux autres choses, move on to, like, the next thing, right? But I don't know. Ali says no lie detected. Patty LaBelle says, oh my. Jessica, Tadisha are laughing. Yikes. Oh, Stephanie says the Drake jokes are getting old. Drake isn't going anywhere, so I'm ready to move on, right? And East Awesome says the Oscars jokes were mid the entire night. Jimmy Kimmel could have landed it, right? Listen, Drake isn't the greatest person, right? But, like, I think we can move on. There are far worse people out there in Hollywood, right? Especially sitting there right there at the Oscars. I would have liked to see some Gal Gadot jokes personally, but I digress. I'm Your Huckleberry says, didn't Drake just end his tour early or something? Yeah, like, he really is crashing out and going through it lately. So I think at this point, it is maybe like Sancharia is saying, it is getting a little bit mean and we might need to kind of just, like, move on. It's done, right? And I agree with you, Nginyu Ivy. Kendrick started it. He ended it. That's it. Let's move on. Okay. Now, speaking of moving on, actually, one thing, shout out to you guys. Are there any Canadians in here? Usually we've got Boss Lady, but she's not here today. Shout out to Canadians, especially those of you from Ottawa, because Drake is opening up a new live music concert venue and club in downtown Ottawa. So if you know where, like, Rideau Street is, like the old Chapters building, right across from the Rideau Street Mall, that is where Drake's new live music venue is going to be. And Ottawa really, truly does need that, because our biggest music venue is, like, 40 minutes out of the downtown, so we have always been, like, complaining and wanting something like that downtown. So he was really, really smart to go ahead and get the ball rolling on that. And so, shout out to everybody in Ottawa who's going to be able to enjoy that. Oh, AJ, I forgot. Yeah, AJ's from Montreal. So AJ, maybe you're going to be going to Ottawa for some concerts eventually, right? Just next door. So that's really, really cool. Shout out to him on that. Ottawa truly, truly, truly needs it. Next up, you guys, let's get into the Kourtney Kardashian story. For some reason, and I don't know what's wrong with people, but, like, some sick adults have been spreading rumors about Kourtney Kardashian's son, Mason. They've been saying that he has a daughter, that he got someone pregnant. And this is a story that, obviously I haven't been interested in touching, just because, it involves a child, right? And, I don't like that people are spreading rumors about him. And obviously his mom, Kourtney, doesn't like it either. So here she is, now setting the rumors to bed and asking people to back off. And so I really, really do applaud her for this. Obviously it's not something that she wanted to do, but unfortunately a lot of sick people are on the internet. So she was forced to go ahead and put out this statement. She said on her Instagram stories, and I quote, "I rarely address rumors or conspiracies regarding myself or my family, but this is about my child, and it feels wrong to let anyone think for a second that these lies are remotely true. They are not. Mason does not have a child. These accounts that pretend to be him are definitely not. They are fake. My son really values his privacy, and I am asking all media to please be respectful. He is a kid with feelings and a beautiful life ahead of him. Please stop spreading false narratives and spinning lies. And to all the other people making videos about my kids, who, by the way, are minors, please stop and leave them alone." I agree. Listen. Don't spread rumors about the kids, y'all. It's weird. It's weird. It's one thing for them to be on the show and then, people talking about what's happening on the show, because at the end of the day, even if she's talking about leave my kids alone, she's put these kids on TV for the past decade, right? The child was born on TV. So that stuff, I don't really care. But when it comes to making up rumors about the actual life of a child, illness is involved. Severe illness is involved. It's weird. Now, you guys, see, that was an example of a parent that sticks up for their child, right? and who defends their child. Now, let me show you an example of a parent who does the exact opposite and instead chooses to actually drag their own child on the internet. This is what Amber Portwood had to say about her daughter, Leah, on TikTok. Take a look, and then we'll come back on the flip side. Continue to leave your messages in the chat. I'm going to be putting them up as the video plays. Okay, you guys? Here goes.
The world would be nicer if I owned up to everything that I've already owned up to. True, though. What are y'all talking about? I'm 34. This has been going on for years. I'm not buzzed. Oh my God. Facts on what? What are you talking about, Ashley McClooney? 4 months no contact with your daughter is crazy. I didn't go 4 months no contact with my daughter. You guys keep on being told that I'm going no contact with my daughter like I'm doing that. No, I was told to stay away. Like, not to stay away, but like all that stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do that, actually. Like, I want to have my daughter with me. I would love to have my daughter with me. I would love to do mom and daughter things. It's up to her that she doesn't want to be around me at the moment while she's doing therapy. I understand, but, you know, she doesn't remember anything, guys. She said it on the show that she didn't remember, anything bad, and stuff like that. And that the only time that she remembered anything was when, she didn't remember anything though. She would watch like clips from online, and she said that's what she hated. So it's not trauma. She doesn't have trauma. Thank God. Guys, not everything is trauma. It's not denial. You can't call that trauma. I didn't beat her. I didn't. She's traumatized about what? Delusional. I'm delusional because I have a brain? No, she's not traumatized because of me. I didn't do anything to her like that. The yelling, yeah, that happened 3 years. Less than 3 years. And that was on and off. It's not trauma. Jesus Lord, guys, stop. It was a couple years of being gone. And then ever since then, I was on her life. What are you talking about? You guys keep forgetting I went to school for this. Y'all, just shut up and quit. Just shut up. It's ridiculous to come on here and like try to relax in between me, like cleaning my freaking house. And you guys are talking about denial and all this shit and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to listen to this stuff. I lived the life. Jesus. Who's traumatized? Who's a victim? Who? Y'all are not my kids. You are not my kids. Like, the day my son wants to tell me I'm not there for him, like, that's what my son will tell me. The day that my daughter wants to say she's pissed off at me because of my past and me being a drug addict and having mental illnesses and going to prison and things like that, then that's what the fuck she's saying right now. Like, get over it. Damn, I had a way worse life than she can imagine. I know more than half of you guys did. You can't sit there and do that with your kids. You cannot sit there and pamper to the point of you've apologized for years and the people are being pushed away from you and you're still apologizing. But it has nothing to do with anything except for the fact that there's stuff being looked at online or things like that from years ago. So quit. I don't know what you're doing, but like there's a lot of hate on here for no reason. I feel like I don't really know why it's really any of like the negative people on here. Why is it your business? And why are my peoples your business either? And why is my mental health your business? If you don't know who I am, then just move along. Karma from what? You can't have karma, Emily, if you didn't do anything. When you stop doing the negative things. Philosophers, you're not philosophical people. You're not, you know, unless you are, I don't know. Like, you're not, that was beautiful, by the way. Unless you're a writer or a prophet or a poet. I don't want to hear your, I make fair look like a saint. I think you're pushing that, honey. You need to go sit down. We're going to put you in the corner. Why do I need to go to rehab? Honey, I am completely sober. This is medication. My, literally, mental illness medication. Why would I go to rehab? What am I going to rehab for? I don't drink. I'm not doing any drugs. Like, what am I going to rehab for? I don't understand, guys. Like, you can't, like, what? Like, don't you have to do, like, drugs stuff to go to rehab? Like, I don't know. Denial? Because I'm not. It's denial because, what in the hell? No hope. 50%, guys, wow. Narcissistic? Again, guys, I'm on a show, but I'm 34 now. 34. Use your brains. Stop it. Let me be 34 and not keep. It's not mania, darling. I know myself. I'm 34. I don't have mania. It's 2:18 in the afternoon. I was taking a break. All right. So I see everybody who wants to be negative. So I love you, positive people, today. It was amazing. And
so there it was. Once again, shout out to LB for recording that. I am still floored at how dismissive she's been of her daughter's trauma, even like full-blown laughing and saying, get over it. I can't pamper her. Like, she really truly does not care. And I find that to be just, devastating and appalling, right? Like, we have seen what happened, the evolution of her daughter. So her daughter truly, truly did want for her mom to be in her life. She used to cry, beg for her. Remember, she used to follow her to the bathroom when she was dating Matt because Amber left her for Matt. And, she said, I don't know the next time I'm going to see you again. So I just always want to be with you when I'm with you. And so to see her go from that to being cold, not even calling her mom, just saying Amber, and now opening up about seeking therapy and having abandonment issues and everything. And then seeing the person who caused this destruction, this devastation, this trauma, laugh, dismiss it, say to get over it. It's nothing compared to what she went through. She can't coddle this person. Like, that is so, so heartbreaking. And one of the things that Leah talked about in the latest episode of Next Chapter was how these videos on TikTok and stuff are being shared with her, and she has access to them. The clips of the show where Amber was mistreating her father, Gary, and everything. And now this too will make its way to Leah, right? So just the sadness that she's already going through, compounded by her mom going on the internet, telling everyone she's a liar, she's dramatic, she just wants to be coddled. What she's going through is nothing compared to what, Amber went through. Like, that is just, wow. It's so selfish, right? And so Amber says, if my son one day comes, girl, you lost custody of your son too. You are 0 for 2 when it comes to custody of your kids. And it's crazy to me that doesn't open up your eyes to the fact that you did something wrong. That doesn't open up your eyes to the fact that you have harmed your children. For you as a mother to lose custody of your children, something truly has to be wrong, for any parent, especially, but especially as a mother, that is huge, right? And when children go through something like that, that is a trauma. So it really sucks that she can't even acknowledge any bit of pain that her daughter has gone through. And I'm so disgusted by her. I have never liked this woman at all. I've always come for her, but now this is just something that is so ugly. It's almost beyond words. Okay. I can't. I really, really can't. Kiki says, the way Amber dismisses Leah's trauma and acts like she's in competition makes me sick. I completely agree. Tadisha also says, I am so sick of Amber. MTV and the cast coddle her too much. Why hasn't she been fired? And I agree. I really hope that Macy and Caitlin's eyes open up to this, because Cheyenne, she used to be running behind Amber as well. She was in the courtroom when Amber was facing the charges for the machete attack against Andrew, right? And so she went from that to now being like, oh no, this girl, like, she is not it. I'm going to stand by the child. And so I really do hope that that's a journey that Macy and Caitlin go down as well. Nancy says it's still trauma to see your mom doing stuff online too. Amber can't handle the truth. I completely agree. You guys have such good takes, by the way. Huckleberry says, Amber doesn't understand that her going in and out of Leah's life is giving Leah abandonment issues, to the point that Leah is afraid Christina may one day walk out. Right. And the fact that she's also calling the girl a full-blown liar, when it's not just Leah who has talked about how Amber went no contact for the past several months with her. Gary said it. Christina said it. They hadn't heard from her at all. So now for you to go on there knowing it's true, but to, in front of the world, call your own child a liar, your elementary school age child a liar, right? Or is it middle school? That's crazy. That's crazy, you guys. Absolutely crazy. And you know what? That's what I said to Georgia. When that popped up, I said, thank God. Thank God. So sorry to Leah and James, but thank God that we are not Amber's children. The fact that she even had children in the first place, I don't understand. You do not like children, Amber. It's very, very apparent. And so you should just stop having them, please, for the sake of yourself and for the sake of the children as well. It's not okay. It really, really isn't. By the way, hello. Welcome to Francine. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Australia. What is it, like 4 a.m. over there? What time is it? Oh my God. Whenever I'm talking to people from Australia, I feel like I'm talking to people from like the future or something like that. So you guys, I will be doing a recap on the week's episode of Next Chapter. So stay tuned for that. And again, I really did appreciate Jade and Cheyenne going on the record on camera to say that the way that Amber treats Leah is unforgivable. It's not okay, because I think that that's something that Leah really needed to see on the show. Of course, Gary and Christina already mentioned it, but I think she needed that sort of validation from people outside of her family. And I'm happy that they put themselves on the line, because of course, Amber's a very angry person. And so I'm sure she probably was trying to send them these crazy texts or phone calls about mutilating them or something. Remember when she did that to Ashley over other issues, but they still went ahead and did that for the sake of Leah. And I love that. So shout out to them for that. And so Jaleesa says that Jade actually talked a little bit more about it on her live. That's something that I haven't seen, but if that's the case, then I am really, really, really happy to see that. I hope that they continue. In fact, if they're still doing the reunion and stuff, I would love for them to sit down there and tell her to her face. And I saw quite a few comments in here like, why is she still even on the show? It's true. Why is she on the show? She has no custody of her kids. She's not seeing her daughter. She's not seeing her son. So now what? What do we need her on the show for? The first and last time we saw her this season, she was like faking being pregnant by somebody in order to get out of filming. So you know what? Let her continue to fake that all the way over there and let everybody else kind of like move on. I do mention this pretty much every time I recap it, but it is true. I do hope that Gary and Christina do pull Leah from the show, because it is detrimental to her. She did in the last episode talk about how these videos circulating online and stuff are causing her problems. So at this point, leave it alone. I'm happy that they've stopped forcing her to see Amber, but I think that they need to take it a step further and to just pull her from the show in general as well, like, for her greater good. So yeah, wishing you well, Leah. Honestly, you can't choose your parents, and unfortunately some people do get the short stick, right? So yeah. We do have another teen mom story that I did want to go over with you guys. It's about Cheyenne Floyd. Speaking of Cheyenne, she went online to talk about wanting to get some tattoo removal, and she shared some stories about some tattoos gone wrong that I thought might be rather interesting to you guys. So go ahead, take a look. Again, like with the Amber thing, you guys were great about leaving all of your comments in the live chat. So make sure to continue doing that. I'll continue to put them up on screen. And if you're enjoying this episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a like so YouTube knows you enjoy my morning report. Don't forget, we go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with the day's hottest stories. Now here's Cheyenne.
Let's have a story time about how I have not one, but 2 tattoos that I regret. The first, I was 18. I just left home, going to college all the way in Virginia, and I was stuck on Tumblr. Who remembers their Tumblr days? Well, I thought it was a good idea to get She Flies with Her Own Wings, because I just left home, so it made so much sense at the time. Now I hate it. It's right here on my arm. It shows in all of my pictures, and I got the words so tiny that they're now smudged together and you can barely see them. So I want to get it removed. I'm looking for a laser place that is good to get tattoo removal, so please help me out and drop suggestions below. Now the second tattoo. I was in college, freshman year, and we went to spring break. It was a great time, Puerto Rico. It was a vibe. Too much of a vibe. Imagine a restaurant, and in the back is a bar, and then the back of that is a tattoo parlor. So we ate, we drank, and then we got tattoos. Well, I blacked out at the middle part, the bar. I woke up the next day, and my bed was full of ink and blood, and the side of my body was in so much pain. I looked at the sheets, and it honestly looked like Lord of the Rings writing. I didn't know what I did. Well, I got a tattoo in Arabic. I don't speak Arabic. I didn't know what it said. When I got home, luckily my best friend's mom does speak Arabic, and I had to get my tattoo read. It says, Portal of the Sun. For what? Why? Why did I do that? And it's awful. It's risen out of my skin, it's thick, it's chunky, and it's just not meant to be. I'm not in love with it. It's a funny story, but I wish it was someone else's. Now, tattoo number 3. I did my first MTV show, Are You the One? I loved it. I had so much fun. We shot the show in Hawaii. All of our castmates, we felt like we were a big family. So what did we do? We went and got Ohana tattooed on us. Now, my Ohana has now merged and it looks like Obama. I love Obama. That's my guy. But I don't love him enough to get him tattooed on my arm. So, help your girl out. I need tattoo removal suggestions because I gotta get Obama, Portal of the Sun, and She Flies with Her Own Wings out of here.
So there you go, Cheyenne talking about the tattoos that she regrets. You know, I'm actually quite surprised that she would put so little thoughts into tattoos that she puts in such visible places, because especially the vertical one is the one that I always notice on her. So yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but I think this is why a lot of people are typically, or parents especially, are typically against their children getting tattoos so young, because your mind at 18 is different than your mind at 35 years old or something like that. So yeah, take your time, really understand. And if you really do want to get tatted young, maybe get it in more kind of like discreet places where if it's something that bothers you, it's not going to be, still also visible with everything that you wear everywhere that you go. So yeah, I did see a comment there. Jaleesa said it sounded like an ad. You know what I think it was? I think she's fishing, and this might also go with Allie's comment. I think that she is fishing for a place to sponsor her to get the tattoos removed for free. I don't know if you guys got the same vibes from it at all, but that's the vibe that I got there. By the way, good morning to you, Ramster. Nice to see you. And it's nice to see Cynthia and everybody else who is also joining us here for the morning report. Y'all, we got so much to discuss today. We're going to go over our usual hour, so don't you worry. I'm your Huckleberry says most tattoo parlors won't tattoo if you're visibly drunk. I'm surprised they would do it for her if she was blackout drunk. Yeah, that's something that really stuck out to me about that one tattoo she was talking about, because she really does not have any clue how she even got it on her body. I feel like if you're tipsy or a little drunk, like, you would still remember, especially for such a huge decision. So I would like to know what place that was that she got that done to, and it's not even like I would be going to LA anytime soon at all. But I would like to know, to just in case I happen to end up there and happen to want a tattoo, I don't end up there, because it feels very, very unethical. And she was super young and stuff. She probably reeked of alcohol. She was probably, how obnoxious, people can be when they're drunk and stuff, just so loud and stuff. I imagine that she was in that state. And so just going ahead and tattooing somebody in that state is just not cool. Right? The Ohana Obama thing, girl, God bless. God bless. God bless. Ramster says tattoos should have an 18-month waiting time. Ooh, that could be cool too, right? To give you a lot of time to really, really think, like, is this something that I really want? Although 18 months is kind of long. Houston says, I'm glad she's making younger kids aware that as you get older, tattoos change, and that you might regret. Right. That's another thing, right? Because I have heard this quite a bit where people get those, because that's really trendy, especially right now, the little small words and stuff, especially in the typewriter font, like they smudge, they do smudge. I have a friend here, or had a friend here, and she had gotten like a smiley face on like her ring finger on the inside, and it smudged within like a month, and it's pretty much like halfway gone, if not completely gone by now. And I'm with you, Georgia. I can't do it. I can't commit. And I also think that my skin is too dark for tattoos. I do not love I don't know. I feel like it would just fade too much for me anyway. So no, can't be. You know what? I can't really. Right now, I think it's really, really trendy, and it's in line with the tattoo that I was telling you about right here, the little smiley faces. A lot of people are getting, especially girls, the young girls are getting these like little like pictures and stuff all over their hands and stuff. I think that those are things that they are going to go ahead and and regret. Good luck. I hope they don't smudge and stuff, or that you like them forever. But I think that those are going to be a little bit. It's kind of like the butterfly tattoo on like the lower back sort of a thing. Eventually, it really, really dates you. Stephanie, she's looking for a plug, and April, I'm the same way. Honestly, I don't know what I could commit to. I can't, you guys. I can't. And I'm glad that so many of you guys are seeing it for what it is, right? It's somebody trying to get free tattoo removal. I cannot blame her. Listen, free is nice, right? But it is what it is, right? Kahara says, good morning, girl. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you too. And don't worry, we've got an extra long episode today, so we still got plenty of more to cover. Elle says, my dad was a cool dad, and he told me at 14, yeah, that's fine, you can get one, but try and wait 1 year. So grateful. Can you tell us, Elle, what you were thinking of getting? Oh my God. For me, I only ever wanted like a tattoo in one place. It was just like here, like vertically on your wrist. But like I said, listen, I think my skin's too dark for tattoos. It just wouldn't look good on me personally. Listen, you guys, we've got plenty more show for you guys. We're going to talk about the Love is Blind drama, including Dave. Did you guys watch that new set of episodes that dropped? Because Dave, I've got so much to say when it comes to him. I really, really do not care for this guy. I think he's a very, very mean, shady person. I think he's a misogynistic person. I don't think he likes women at all. And I don't mean that in a, oh, he's gay sort of way. I think a lot of gay men love women, right? But I think that a lot of straight men hate women. And I think that Dave falls into that category. I really think that he was just trying to humiliate Lauren on the show, try to get some quick and free X out of her, and then dump her publicly. And I really, really hate that he was even allowed on the show. So we got to talk about some of the stuff that he's been saying about her in the press. We've also got to talk about Gypsy Rose. She says that her kind of stalker-like ex-husband is still in the picture about her relationship and her baby and stuff like that. So we got to get into that as well. And then we're also going to get into Will and Kate being called out for copying Harry and Meghan's Instagram strategy. Blake Lively suffering another step back in her legal battle against Justin Baldoni, and plenty more. So stay tuned, including actually the other Love is Blind couple that got engaged but didn't get featured on the show. So they're talking about their relationship and how they're still engaged and planning to get married very soon. So hang on, I got to get a drink of water and then we'll be back on the flip side after a word from some of our sponsors. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Ruthia. Ruthia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. Reading some of your comments about tattoos before we get into the next story. And one of them made me laugh so hard. Farah says, I remember getting a dolphin on my tummy that turned into a whale when I got pregnant with all 3 of my kids. Forgive me, Farah, but that is absolutely hilarious. What are you going to do with it now? Are you going to do the removal, or are you just going to keep it as like a fun story? Because I do think that that's a cute and quirky story. And Jaleesa, okay, now I feel like I have an idea of about how old you are because you have this particular tattoo. I feel like there's tattoos per generations, right? And so when I think of the butterfly on the lower back, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it was really popular for a particular generation. And so I remember when I was in elementary school, my teacher, she had one of those. So I'm thinking, okay, and she was maybe like 20 something when she started teaching. So maybe you're like 40s. Am I good? Am I there? I will tell you, I was surprised when on the Real Housewives of Potomac, Ashley Darby revealed having when she was in a bikini and she turned around, she had the same one. I said, no, that's not a tattoo of our generation. That's like a tattoo, because you know what I think is a tattoo of like the millennial generation, the anchor. And then what do you call this? The semicolon. Those to me. And then of course the little like patchwork tattoos and stuff, especially the hand tattoos. Those to me are millennial tattoos. I don't know. Do you guys associate tattoos with generations as well? Or is that just me? Magena says, I only regret one of mine. Never get purple. It doesn't come out good. Oh no. What was it? Was it a flower or something like that? I used to think, again, because I have such dark skin, I used to think, oh, should I get like a white ink tattoo? But then I heard those heal terribly as well. Star, your mom took you to get a tattoo at 14? What? That is, you know what? I bet you she did it as a joke, like, oh, you can't, I wanted you to get it so badly. Sorry, can't. It reminds me of like Simon Seacrest on American Idol or even X Factor and stuff like that. He used to do that. Like when everybody would say no, because a performer was obviously a really bad like singer, he would be like, oh, well, it's my turn. I was going to say yes, but everybody else said no. That's what I think your mom did to you. Ronnie says, what did Ronnie say? I don't even want to talk about tattoos. My husband took my 15-year-old to get one. Oh my God, what is happening with the 14 and 15-year-olds getting tattoos? Maybe your husband was joking too. Did the tattoo artist actually do it? Al says, okay, it was a cross, which totally made sense as we were quite religious, but also didn't make sense because we were quite... It's true. You're not supposed to put some ink on your body when you're... Oh, that's funny. I love that. You guys, thank you so much for sharing your tattoo stories. I am loving them all. And when I catch the replay, I'm part of the playback posse as well, right? So I like to rewatch them, cut little clips for TikTok and for individual videos and whatnot. So I will be reading the rest of you guys' comments in the playback posse. And speaking of my playback posse, if you too have some tattoos that you regret, don't hesitate to let us know in the comments section. I am loving, loving, loving these stories. Now, you guys, let's get into the Love is Blind, shall we? Dave. I call him Incel Dave in my recap of this season because it's very clear that he's got incel ideologies and just does not like or respect women at all. So he's been doing interviews with People magazine where he talks about his relationship with Lauren. And spoiler alert, by the way, if you guys do not know where this ends up yet, even though the episodes came out on Friday, maybe put this on mute for the time being. This story should take about 5 minutes, okay? So maybe fix yourself up a little coffee, glass of water, something. So spoiler alert, we're going to find out the fate of this couple. So in the last set of episodes, we saw that they just could not get past the fact that Lauren had a friend with benefits going into the show. She was boinking with this friend up until like 4, 5, 6, 7 days before going on and trying to find a husband, right? And so David is not cool with it. And this is what he said to People, and I quote, I think the whole situation of her having a boyfriend going into it and me having to experience and try to not play 2 different roles, but I was trying to be the best to everybody and trying to figure this out. This coming from not only my sister, who knows this guy's best friend, but also my really close college friends that know him. And were all telling me that they've been dating for 3 months and she was staying at his place the week before she left. I'm hearing all these things and I'm just like, there's just no way I'm going to marry this person if that's what she was doing coming into it. I just can't justify that. But having to explain that to, I know my sister's a big part of it, but the reason she's such a big part of that is because she knows the guy that Lauren had been seeing, and she was just there like, there's absolutely no way. And I got to the point where I was like, I'm not going to force my best friends and family members to come watch me say no at the altar when I knew that was going to be my answer based on the information I had at that time. Listen, I do respect his position. I said this in a prior video. I personally would have probably taken the same stance on someone. I would have thought that the person was not serious if they were, dropping it like it's hot a mere days before coming on and committing to marriage. I do not like when people, men that are trying to date me or pursue me do not have actual discipline. I don't like, guys who are trying to sleep with you on the first night, this or that. To me, that gives that kind of energy where you can't even like keep it in your pants for a month or two and like prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, all that stuff. Just keep yourself zen for a month or 2 or 3 or whatever, knowing that you were attempting to get married. I don't like that, So I think that Dave has a right to feel that way. But he knew that from the beginning. Yet, do you guys remember when they went away on the honeymoon and stuff? he was trying to sleep with her. Then he started complaining to everyone and asking everybody if they're hooking up because he and Lauren aren't hooking up. I feel like, I don't know. It feels to me, and we see this a lot. We even saw it with Ramses, who knew he wanted to say no to Marissa at the altar, but he kept on trying to sleep with her as much as possible, to the point where she was like, dude, what's going on? I work, I study, I'm trying to pass the bar, and you're trying to bone me 5 times a day, and the guy, he knew he didn't want to marry her. So you get a lot of these types of guys in the show, and I really don't like that. And I think that they need to take a closer look at the types of guys that they led on, because a lot of them are obvious from the very beginning, right? And East Awesome, exactly. From the very beginning, he talked about cheating on women, treating women poorly. He's telling women they're no longer attractive because they're in their 30s. He's telling them they got to hurry up, settle for him if they, want to have a kid. Time is running out type nonsense, like, come on, right? That's really sweet, by the way, Irani. I love that. That's so sweet. How many of the men have done this? So many. I think that too many to count have done this, you guys. And I really, really, and so I really applaud the women who kind of hold out a little bit more, because you don't know the intention of the men on the show. A lot of the women who come onto the show, they are purposely seeking it out. And then the men, they're being scouted for the show. So to me, that's another thing that I don't get about Lauren, right? Like, Lauren, you knew you wanted to get married. So what are you doing running around town, especially when you come from a small town where everybody knows each other, right? What are you doing running around town with a random man up until a couple of days before you're supposed to be getting married? That is not serious behavior, in my opinion. Gwen says, dude sounds super fragile. How many of the guys do exactly that before the show and don't own up to it, right? And that's because the guys are not serious. So to me, a lot of the guys do that because they're not serious. And we see that all the time, that they're not serious. So to me, that's more proof that Lauren was not serious, right? And I don't think that Dave was serious either. I don't think he likes women, right? I think he's just, and I can't stand him. I don't know where they picked him up from, why they must have been desperate. I think the producers did say that the show kind of cast itself. They didn't have that much, that many people signing up to do it. So I think that's why they settled for him. By the way, you guys, I'm seeing I starred your comments, Triple V and me, and Suis Bonjour, because I'm going to go back to the tattoo thing just to see what you guys have to say too. Farrah says, he was there for the fame. Watching Dave and Lauren was so triggering. It was borderline verbal and mental abuse. He wanted her to end it so he can get a good edit. I felt so bad for her. I agree. Thank you, Farrah. I think that's what it comes down to. And a lot of relationships, heterosexual relationships with men are like this, where they will push you to your breaking point. They will just treat you poorly, worse and worse, until you finally pull the plug. And that's why we as women have to be on the lookout for that sort of behavior. These are grown men. They know what they're doing. They know they're mistreating you. They know they can treat you better. They would not treat somebody that they actually want to be with that way. And so you, as a person, even if you really love the person and you really want to make it work, you have to put an end to it, because they will only drag you for as long as you allow them to drag you. Like this guy, you could tell he just kept on looking at her like, dude, like, what, like, I'm treating you like garbage. What are you still doing here? Right. And it's really, 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 really sad to see. It really, really is. Jaleesa doesn't think it's a big deal. Listen, at the end of the day, everybody has their own different like standards and what they like, don't like, or whatever. So I don't think it's a problem that you don't see it as a big deal at all. I think that maybe there are other things that you consider to be a big deal that maybe I wouldn't consider to be a big deal, and vice versa. So don't worry about it at all. We all have different perspectives about it and stuff. Gwen says, you literally couldn't pay me enough to go on that show. Effing yikes. Exactly. Honestly, like, I feel bad for the girls, because a lot of them do go on trying to find something real, but I think a lot of the guys are just there to get to get laid, because a lot of ladies are no longer engaging in casual X with these guys, right? And so they're like, listen, I get some TV time, some followers, I get laid, why not? Triple V says, Chinese symbol tattooed on the back of my neck when I was a teen. It means serenity, tranquility. I think, listen, you might want to get that verified, girl. I hope it means that. But that used to be really popular. I think that's another one where it's like upper millennial to lower of that other generation above us, sort of a tattoo as well. Sweet Bonjour says, something funny about tattoos. I have the Mac apple with a bite taken out of it on my butt to have an apple bottom. I love it. That is too funny. I love it. Listen, I love you guys' sense of humor. I think it was Farrah who said that her dolphin turned into to a whale. That is just, oh, wow. That is too funny. Milan says, wow, great season's high, 215. Thank you, Milan. We're climbing up there, girl. I love it. Thank y'all so much for joining us for the morning report. We go live every single weekday morning to talk about the day's hottest stories. If you're enjoying this video, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows you enjoy my content. But Julissa, it was said that she was doing it like she knew she was cast. But here's my thing. You know you're cast and you're trying hard. Like, shouldn't you be concentrating on that? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too much. I don't know. Because to me, it's like, okay, if she was doing this, like, and she had put in her application and forgot about it, whatever. But you're in the midst of packing, right? Trying to find your husband and stuff. Like, get into that mindset. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just find it weird. I do. But listen, like I said, different strokes for different folks. Petty says reality shows are not nearly as good as they were before social media. And I can agree with that because, you know, especially like when it comes to like, you know what I miss? Oh, thank you for that, Petty LaBelle. You know what you just made me think of? The Real World. That used to be my show. And so like the fact that kind of like went away when social media did, like they were smart to bow out then. That show was just so damn good. And to me, that's like an epitome of a reality show that was incredible. Flavor of Love. I used to love Take a Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. I used to love the one with Bret Michaels. Like, I used to watch the trashiest of trashiest reality shows, you guys. I still do. Ramsey says, I don't remember who said it, but people don't break up anymore. One just acts like a jerk. And this is why, ladies, please have high self-esteem because men will just continue to push you until you finally end it. And so, unfortunately, you see this all the time. Lauren was a good example of it. Just accepting. The guy was practically calling her a hoe every single episode, and she's still there trying to bend over backwards, have everybody meet him, try to make it work out and stuff. Girl, he doesn't like you. How many times, how many ways does he have to tell you and show you he doesn't like you? He called you annoying to your mom's face. He said you're not cute to your mom's face, and you're still there like, I can't wait to marry that man. He said you're no longer attractive because you're 31 on your first date, or you're 32. He said you're no longer attractive, and you're still here trying to marry. Please, self-esteem. We need self-esteem. Because that's not like, come on now, you know, I don't think men like Dave should be getting any play. If women had higher self-esteem, men like Dave would be alone for life the way they deserve. I cannot stand that guy. That is one of the worst guys to come on the show. I'm still pissed that he ever even got cast. Like, screw Dave. Petty also says, not apple bottom. Why do I love that? Me too, right? It's cute. It's fun. It's quirky. Like, you know, guys, don't be afraid to show your personality with your tattoos. Like, I love that. East Austin says Lauren didn't deserve to be outed like that. Yep, she probably just enjoyed the ex but didn't like the guy's character. I agree. I felt bad for her. I really did. She seemed like such a sweet girl. So I hope she finds better. I want to see her at the reunion looking better than ever, telling us that she found this, like, you know, either she found like the best therapist ever to work on her self-esteem, or she found the hottest, richest man in town. I want to see her stunt on Dave so bad. Okay, so it looks like y'all are really into like the same shows as I am. Whoop whoop! Shout out to my fellow like trash TV people. Yup, I love it. Yes, shout out to us. Oh God, how I miss that era of reality TV. Now, you guys, why don't we get into Gypsy Rose? Listen. It's a different vibe, but it's still a good vibe. Well, she's not good vibes, but the show is fun and I like it. I recapped all of season 1 and I'm going to be recapping all of season 2. It's about to drop actually really soon. Just before we get into that, hey, Katie, nice to see you. Thank you for becoming a channel member. We're going to continue reading Caitlin and Tyler's book. I'm going to do another chapter for you guys today. So be on the lookout for that. Thank y'all so much to my channel members. You see Ali talking about Bad Girls Club. Listen, I tried to get into that, but when I was about to watch it, you know what happened? One of my friends from high school, rest his soul, we had just finished high school. We were a year out. He went to study up north. It was either Yukon or Nunavut. I think he was in Nunavut. And he got into a fight at a party. And one of the people and it's really graphic, so sorry in advance, you guys, but one of like, you know, and so that's why I couldn't finish watching Bad Girls Club. I never watched it again. It's just kind of triggering. It reminds me of this all the time, how this person got into a fight at a house party, you know, like, and it was a guy, but you know, just like scruff. What happens? The person he was fighting was so vicious. And this person that I went to school with was like 6'2". The person picked him up, beat him over a piano and killed him with his bare hands. So ever since, just watching people like fight like that has been just, wow, like you really can, like you can end people's lives like this. So anyway, sorry guys, I brought down the vibes. Sorry guys, rest his soul, rest in peace. But yeah, that really turned me off to Bad Girls Club. It just made me so sad. Not you, but like the show. Now you guys, let's get into the Gypsy Rose story. Listen, she has been earning her keep selling every single damn story she can to People magazine. On the flip side, I do think that she's doing a really great job for, drumming up interest for season 2 of her show. But yeah, it's a little bit obnoxious at the same time. Can I tell you guys, there was something a little bit haunting about this picture. Let me pull it back up of her folding her kids' clothes and stuff. And it's like a girl. Something to me, knowing how she offed her mom in the house and stuff, and now here she is just smiling, getting ready for like kids' clothes. I don't know why, but just something about it was so eerie to me. Almost like she's like, okay, she's out of here. Now, like, I'm the new one. I don't know. There's just something about it that just, I don't know. Anyway, shall we get into her stalker ex? And yeah, sorry you guys, I brought down the mood. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was just so shocking. Like we were all collectively shocked when that happened. Georgia says, my friend died from a punch. Oh, because just one in a place, in a bad place or something, and it's all over, so it's a lot. Ali says a casting reached out to me to be on the show. I watched one episode and realized that I wanted to work after being on TV. Thank God you didn't do it, Ali. Oh my God, can you imagine? And I don't think it's worth it. Those people don't really end up rich afterwards either. So Gypsy Rose's stalkerish ex-husband, Ryan, is still refusing to completely get out of the picture of her life, despite the paternity test confirming that her boyfriend, Ken, is the father. She says, and I quote, "We're still dealing with some other things wrapped around the paternity, believe it or not, getting the paperwork finalized for that. So it's like I took the test before she was born, and I posted that Instagram that shut all the rumors of who the father was down. So it was clear. But then you have the court proceeding part of it you have to follow up on. And so that's currently what we're dealing with. So Ryan is not out of the picture yet. And so she's not confirming or denying that he's still trying to get some type of paternity recognized, but she's saying that the situation is stressful for her and her boyfriend, Ken Urker. Quote, "It's something we can't manage. But it'll be nice to have everything finalized and done so we can just all move on. It's probably going to be another couple of months. It's a very long process." And so all of this is because she got pregnant by Ken while still married to Ryan. And in Louisiana law, if you have a child outside of your marriage while you're still legally married, it's understood to be the legal husband's child. An attorney in Louisiana named Bo Brock describes it as the following. There's a legal presumption in Louisiana that if you have a child while you're married, it's presumed to be the husband's child. It's done that way to protect the child. All laws in Louisiana concerning paternity are designed to protect the child and make sure the child has a father and a mother to provide for them. So that presumption can be overcome by DNA, and that's what people have to do. So listen, she got divorced from this guy while she was still pregnant, right? While she was still pregnant. So I'm actually surprised that it is still going on. So I don't know. Good luck. All of this is going to play out on season 2 of their show. So stay tuned for that. If you're going to be watching it on live time, I do have the link in the description box to this video that you can use to go ahead and sign up for a free account. If not, hang tight because I will be recapping it here on my channel as well. Okay. So Gwen says, okay. Thank you. Leave Gypsy alone. Listen, I feel like I'm easier on her than the average person because I haven't watched all those like documentaries to really get in the weeds. I really, really do have to, but I haven't been able to just yet. Gypsy's smile is so creepy. He creeps me out. Ryan, why are all these men running after a murderer? Oh, y'all are going in. Gypsy is shady at the end of the day. She got away with red rum. Toe It All says, I haven't made it. Oh, hey, Toe It All. Nice to see you. Farrah says, I hope she does not repeat what her mom did to her. Oh, I hope so too. Listen, I think the cameras are going to be able to help her child with that because there's no way. You know what? Speaking of this, I don't know why, but I've been getting on TikTok, and don't worry, we're going to go over all of it just to tea, please. Don't worry. I've been getting a lot of like TikToks served to me about Ruby Frankie. And I never like I don't watch family bloggers or anything like that, but I was only mildly familiar with her story. But the stuff I heard is so crazy. I have to go down. I've been trying to find a documentary on her to understand where the psychologist came from, like why she hired the psychologist, how she could agree with the stuff that the psychologist was like telling her to do, like what's wrong with her, what was her upbringing like, how the husband wasn't charged with anything. Like I have so many questions. That thing is insane. I am floored. I am just, wow, my head is spinning from that. Malen says, Ryan, move on. Yup. At the start, I felt bad for him, but not anymore. Exactly. Is he still doing those TikTok lives about her? It used to be so weird. Gwen says these laws creep me out, TBH. In practice, they can be used to keep. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, there's a double-edged sword for sure. I agree with that fully, you know, and I think it's kind of similar to the divorce laws and how you have to like be separated for a certain amount of time. They, you know, don't be surprised if you get more things like that, maybe even harsher coming out soon, right? Because it feels like the world is kind of headed in that Handmaid's Tale direction. Read Sherry's book. Yeah, I wanted to read that as well. I heard she got engaged. Congratulations to her. They dropped a new doc on Hulu. I paused watching to join this. Oh, really? A documentary on Ruby Frankie? Oh, thank you. I'm going to have to go ahead and take a look at what that is all about because, wow, like, gosh. Hey, Shemjem. I'm happy to see you here, and I'm even happier to know you'll also be part of the playback posse. So am I. Don't worry. The LDS Church has a list of therapists. Oh, so the LDS Church knew about this because even the neighbors, when the son ran away to the neighbor's place, they said on the call to the police that it was already known that that was not a good person. So the LDS Church knew that that lady was not a good person, and yet they were pushing people to use her as a, oh, wow. Wow, Linus, People Magazine is known for notorious. Yeah, like it's all so staged. You know what? And speaking of that, let me go see if that Heidi Montag infamous sidewalk photo was a People Magazine thing because they're that's iconic. There was a Ruby Frank documentary on Hulu. Also, you too. Okay, you guys. You know what? Why don't we do that? Let's watch that documentary on Hulu and circle back. I guess that's why it's being served to me. Then okay, I guess that's why. Thank you guys. Now let's get into the royal news. So William and Kate once again are being called out for copying Harry and Meghan's kind of, I don't even know if it's strategy or just them in general, right? Because we've already gone over stories of how Kate's style has evolved to mimic Meghan Markle's style and things like that. And so now it looks like they are trying to mimic the Instagram style of Meghan's personal Instagram page. And this isn't the first time, actually. When Meghan and Harry were still like working royals, they had launched Sussex Royal on Instagram, and it was the fastest growing royal account ever. And so Will and Kate were busted like buying bots, fake followers and stuff to like try to outpace them. It's a whole mess. They started tweaking their strategy to copy the Sussex strategy. And now here they are. Meghan is back with her own personal Instagram. She, for the Invictus Games and stuff, she was using a lot of videos shot from behind and stuff, and like her and Harry holding hands. William and Kate notoriously are anti-PDA. Their followers have typically been talking about how it's unprofessional and unroyal to hold hands and stuff. And now look at them. Same camera angles, same hand holding. So this is a story from the Mirror entitled Prince William and Kate Suddenly Make a New Strategy to Not Only Copy Prince Harry and Meghan's routine hand holding, but even the camera angle as taken for and posted on Meghan's Insta stories previously. Oh, Lord. Let's get into some of the quotes from the article, shall we? And if you're surprised, let me know in the chat, or if you're watching the playback, let me know in the comment section, okay? So they said, and I quote, the royal source or reporter says, and I quote, from her perspective, William and Kate's new, more open style showed a more Americanized way of presenting the royal family. She added that it seems to have benefited Harry and Meghan, so it wasn't too surprising that William and Kate would be tempted to follow suit. And her direct quote reads as following: ever since Harry and Meghan got together, holding hands, being very tactile, being very soppy with each other, we've seen a lot of that, and that's well for an American market. It may not always play out so well here, but it does well in the American market. But that's not all. She also continued on to say, and I quote, So maybe they, meaning William and Kate, are just following their footsteps, realizing actually that as lovers of the royal family, we like to see that. I think that they've been doing a lot to try and like court the American audience, which is interesting because America is an imperial country. They're not a colony, right? So anyway, but listen, this is not the first time, and this will not be the last time that you see things like that from them. Ali says, are we sure they didn't Photoshop William's mistress on Kate's head? Oh, the shots are fired. You know what? Anything is, you know what? And I think this is a joke on like the Mother's Day, like insanely poorly photoshopped image, right? So listen, you really never know with these two. They are a mess. Georgia says they take sibling rivalry to the next level. And do you remember, speaking of sibling rivalry, so William and Kate, they were MIA for the past year and a half, right? And so Meghan's Netflix show, which by the way is premiering tomorrow, it was originally supposed to air in February. However, with all of the LA fires and stuff, and LA being Meghan's hometown, they chose to postpone. But William and Kate, they had already coincidentally decided to suddenly pop up and do some work the day before and the day after the original slated date for Meghan's Netflix show. And of course, they couldn't cancel. It was too late, right? So that was really interesting. I'm surprised we didn't see them try to do that again yet anyway for Meghan's new show. In fact, should we place bets? Do you think that they're going to pop up and suddenly start working tomorrow on the day of Meghan's new premiere? Let me know. That would be rather interesting, wouldn't it, y'all? Houston Rose says not buying fake followers. Yup, it was a whole thing. They were buying bots and everything. And we've also seen, like I said, the evolution of Kate's hair and stuff like that as well. I think it's just so sad how they have been trying to destroy this woman in the press for years just to try and morph into her and steal her ideas and everything like that. Like, I think that that's why they're still not, I think that that's why people still do not, they don't feel it because it's not authentic, right? This is not the way that they naturally are. The way that they naturally are is, it makes sense for who they are as people, and the way that William and the way that Meghan and Harry are as a couple and as individuals makes sense to them as well, And so I think they need to just continue doing whatever it is that they're doing and tweak it in their own special way, and leave Meghan and Harry to do whatever they do and to tweak whatever they do in their own special way at the end of the day. Y'all, no, we're not going to hate on Meghan here. I see Theo, Huckleberry, and Ramster. No, she has not been lying. And you know what? She was so good to go there and help people for the LA fire. She is an LA girl at the end of the day. And I think it's important for people with money, influence, and everything to go and do what they can to help out other people. And so I love that that was something that she was doing. And so, yeah, I'm a Meghan lover. And y'all, please, Ramster, Theo, who else? Huckleberry. I better see y'all supporting Meghan's show, because we will be talking about it on the morning report. Now let's get into the Blake Lively of it all, you guys, okay? Blake Lively is suffering another setback in her legal battle against Justin Baldoni. It's not 100% a loss, but she did have a little bit of a setback. And so let's talk about it and what she actually got as a win as well. So she had asked to subpoena over 2 years worth of text and call data from Justin Baldoni. And the judge presiding over the case ruled in favor of Justin Baldoni, saying that Blake Lively's discovery request was, quote, overly intrusive and disproportionate to the needs of the case. The judge pointed out that Blake Lively and her legal team are asking for more than 2 years of communications starting in December of 2022, even though she initially argued that the alleged smear campaign against her didn't start until August of 2024. So the judge says it's really hard to justify why she would need all those extra records. And so some of the things that she was asking for example, included call logs, text logs, data logs, and cell site location information. And so the judge said, and I quote, Lively has identified no means to segregate those numbers that may have some relevance to her case from those numbers that would have no relevance and would reveal sensitive personal information. And so That could be things like with doctors, psychologists, etc. And so Justin Baldoni's legal team is celebrating that. They're saying, and I quote, and they're talking to People magazine, by the way. And so they're saying that the judge, quote, put a stop to Blake's egregious attempt to invade our client's privacy. This is a big win. No matter how the lively parties may try to spin this decision, the court saw their efforts for what they really are: a desperate fishing expedition intended to salvage their debunked claims long after they already salvaged our client's reputations in the New York Times. And Blake's team is now speaking out as well, which I'm happy about, because one thing about Blake's team is that they were condemning Justin Baldoni and his team for speaking to the press. And so they obviously were speaking to the press as well. However, they were hiding behind sources say, people close to Blake. So now they're saying it with their chest, which is something that I absolutely do appreciate. They said, and I quote, "What is Brian Friedman hiding?" After promising to release all the receipts, Friedman ran into court to keep secret the phone records of who Baldoni and his associates were calling during their retaliatory campaign. Instead of getting these records from the phone carriers the way we initially requested, the judge has ruled that if we simply submit more specific requests, we will be able to get the records we are seeking. Today, we will do that. We are submitting those requests directly to defendants involved, and we look forward to seeing the records. So it is true that Judge Lehman denied Blake's initial discovery request, but he did not dismiss her subpoenas. And so he's just asking her to revise those and stuff. So keep an eye out. More things will be coming out. And Blake is also amping up her defense strategy. She has hired a former CIA worker as part of her crisis PR team, which, oof. Okay, girl, she means business. Good for you, girl. You mean business, right? She's been working with someone who goes by the name of Nick Shapiro. He was the CIA's former deputy chief of staff and senior advisor to former director John Brennan. And so again, her team is speaking out publicly about this. They said, and I quote, "The litigation team from Ms. Lively retained Mr. Shapiro to advise on the legal communication strategy for the ongoing sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit occurring in the Southern District of New York." So they kept it very short and sweet. Let me take a look at what some of y'all had to say, okay, you guys, in the comments section. Hang on, let me take this down. Come on, back to me. So let's see. Sorry, you guys. It's taking a little bit. Okay, here we go. Linda, we talked about Amber and Leah. You will have to back up to about 20 minutes in, okay? We already talked about Amber and Leah, and we talked about Cheyenne and stuff too. The comments on YouTube are hilarious. I love Megan. This has to be bought. Calling us out. I'm gagged. You better be gagged and gooped. I'll see you on Netflix. And then back here the next day to talk about how great it was. Y'all know I love messing with you. Listen, I'm happy to have people who have different opinions and stuff. Don't worry. Bryce says, yes, love me some Meghan and Harry. Yes. Ramster, girl, I'm just messing with you too. Don't worry. Blake wanting 2 years worth of a phone log screams, "I'm going to try and find anything to make Justin look bad, even if it has nothing to do with me." Ridiculous tactic from her. Yeah, and I think that was the thing. And I feel like the judge clocked it. The judge is like, nope, you got to be specific. And, good. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not Team Blake, not Team Justin. I'm Team Truth. And I think that, having access to that much information with nothing to justify it is a bit much. So I hope that they're able to tweak it and really show that they have something that they're going after, because based off of her amended filing, I'm not seeing much of anything yet. But listen, I'm still waiting for the smoking gun. Maybe there's something, right, that makes all of this worthwhile. Can I ask y'all something? If she wins, how is Justin Baldoni going to pay this off? Is it going to be his billionaire bestie who helps him, or what? And if he wins, how is Blake going to pay this off? I know Ryan has a lot of money, right? From Mint Mobile, from the gin and stuff like that. But are they liquid like that? I don't know, y'all. I'm curious, how is this going to be paid, right? I don't know. Gwen says Megan did way more to help LA than Trump did. Yeah, he showed up and forced them to empty their reservoirs. Period. God. I think Blake's team is assuming it was premeditated. That Baldoni was planning from the start to make her look bad, which kind of sounds like paranoia. Yeah, it kind of sounds like it too, you know? And if that's the case, who do you think, like maybe, you know, if you still want to go back to 2022, okay, we want communications with your PR team from 2022 onward. I don't know. Blake is acting like a spoiled actress, mean girl vibes, right? Hope you enjoy it, Linda. We played the full video and everything, okay? I can't bring myself to watch the movie, but it's on my feed on Netflix. She better get ready for a payment plan. Can this go on layaway, y'all? Can this go on layaway? Insurance would settle. Oh, Jessica, thank you for this. That's a smart one. Insurance can do this sort of thing. Isn't that what happened with, what's her name? It was Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Isn't that what happened? But then she also had to put up some money too. Didn't she sell her house and move to Spain? Where is she living in Spain, by the way? You know, maybe that's a little bit too invasive. I don't know. Is it? Where does she live in Spain? Is she still there full time? Y'all know I'm trying to move to Spain too. So I'm just curious to know, you know, what's a good place to go. I'm thinking of like Costa Blanca, I think. I'm still figuring it out, y'all. Now, I wanted to end on a positive note, you guys, which means here's a couple from this season of Love is Blind that got engaged and didn't make it on to air. Here's my thing. These people showed us 5 episodes of people in the pods, and we never once got to see this. Like, and I'm sorry, I don't think they would have been any more exciting than the other people, to be honest with you, right? I feel like they blend right in with everybody else, except that outfit that the girl's wearing, whatever that is. But they got engaged, and they are still planning to go ahead and get married. And to me, this shows that there's something real there, because this often happens where people get engaged, you don't see their stories, and then they don't get married because, you know, maybe they were just there for airtime, right? But these two seem to be very serious about it, and I love that. So let's take a look at their love story, okay? So their names are Kylie and Brian, and Brian told Netflix in an interview about their relationship that not filming almost felt like a weight off of our shoulders. We can do our own thing and figure out our lives on our own. Ultimately, we went on Love is Blind to find love, and we did just that. The experiment worked for us, and now we get to write our own story. So Brian is a wine bar owner, and he says that he knew right after their first pod date that he had something serious with his now fiance, Kylie, after the two of them bonded over growing up in small towns. So they grew up in small towns in like South Dakota, and then they found each other here in Minnesota on Love is Blind, which I would think is really cool and kind of like fateful as well. So that's really awesome. And he says that their connection felt really effortless. We had a very similar sense of humor, and everything really flowed naturally. After we aligned on the important aspects of life, we didn't really take things too seriously and just had fun together. So congratulations to the two of them. I hope, you know what, that reminds me, there was a couple like this on Love is Blind Brazil. Do you guys remember the last season? There was a very like juicy plus size man who was engaged to like this short girl. And, you know, they started bringing, and that's what would have been nice. If they did this on Love is Blind America, that would be good too. Because on Love is Blind Brazil, I don't know if you guys watched the last season of it, but there was a couple where they got engaged, but they didn't want to follow, the producers didn't want to follow this love story, but they wanted to bring them in anyway. So when they would do the group events and stuff, they would bring this guy and he would talk about his relationship. They brought him on the reunion and stuff, and they talked about planning their wedding. What happened? Where's the you know what? I'm going to go down the rabbit hole and see what happened there. But I would love to see at least a little bit of these two on the show anyway, right? Because listen, whatever. So we didn't follow. Maybe show us a little bit of like B-roll footage of how things worked out as a little, you know, aside at the reunion. I hope they do that, right? I really, really do hope that they do, right? Once again, thank you so much for your intel on that, Jessica. That was some good stuff. Y'all hate this jacket. Let me put it up just to piss y'all off. Don't worry, I hate it too. So I'm doing it to piss myself off too. So here is Kylie's jacket. You know, what do you like, what is the concept behind this? So from the person designing this to the person buying it, like, what the hell was going on in their minds when they saw this thing? A mess. And she's a cute girl. Like, if she wore something nice and simple and color, and like this color is not even flattering anyway, I think she would have been nice in like a nice olive green, a royal, like deep blue. Like, she would have been nice in like anything other than this, you know, pink, red, something, right? Come on now. No, they showed us 6 episodes. Yeah, they showed us so many episodes and we never even got a glimpse of these people. I only got like name tags, but I never actually got to see anything that went down in their relationships. And I think that that is criminal. You know, when people used to ask for more episodes of the pods, it's because they wanted to see other connections, not because they wanted to see the same few connections dragged out forever. Betty LaBelle, what is that, Jack? You sound so concerned too. Oh God, listen. Kylie, please, girl, burn that jacket. I wonder what she wore to the reveal, because, you know, now I'm thinking her taste in clothes is just really, really questionable, because I feel like even someone who dresses poorly would not go this extreme and buy something like that, let alone wear it for a cast photo shoot. Like, oh, she must... Woof. I really want to see what the heck, you know, her day-to-day fashion is, because that is a damn mess. April says I'm going to be at work and that jacket is going to be in my head. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and take it down. Y'all crack me up. Wow. Guys, like I told you, we have done, I think this is our longest episode of the morning report ever, about an hour and a half. And I loved every minute of it. Thank you guys, per usual, for being here with me to talk about the day's hottest stories. I had a blast, and I can't wait to see you guys here again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Tiffany says, hey, oh, Tiffany, you're so adorable. Yes, we had the greatest time, and I hope you had a great time too, Tiff, and everybody else watching. Thank you so much. Shout out to my playback posse as well. I'll join you in the comment section and catch everybody again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.